Is there a double standard in the mainstream media and among many on the left when it comes to criticizing Christianity and Islam? Well, our next guest says yes. Phil Zuckerman is a professor of sociology and secular studies at Pitzer College. He's also author of the book, The Secular Life. He recently told an audience at Georgetown University that he believes it is absolutely okay to criticize, mock, and make fun of Christianity, but says Islam gets a free pass. Professor Zuckerman joins us now by Skype from Claremont, California. Professor Zuckerman, great to have you on the broadcast. Thank you so much for coming on. So why does this double standard exist? Why does Islam get a free pass?
I'm not saying it's okay to mock or disparage or critique Christianity in some sort of just in and of itself. What I'm saying is Christian societies are far more tolerant, so one is able to express criticisms and, should one feel the need, mockery without fear of violent retaliation or repression, which is not the case in, of course, Islamic societies, which are among the most unfree societies on planet Earth and certainly dangerous for atheists and so on. So I'm not urging people to go out and tear down others. So I just want to make that clear.
Sure. Let me ask you, push you further on that. You are, by the way, I should let our audience know, you are a self-described atheist. And in fact, you write about the problems with religion in society, including Christianity. Why think twice? Do you fear for your life when it comes to the idea of criticizing Islam?
I'll give you a great example. I wrote a book called, way back when about the sociology of religion, and there were some chapters that were critical of Mormonism, and there were some chapters, and I don't mean critical as saying it's bad, but I mean critiquing the historical foundations of Mormonism. And I also had some sections critiquing the historical foundations of Islam, questioning the validity and the evidence of these traditions. And I'll never forget how I had people say to me, you better be careful about that one, about the Islamic stuff. I mean, nobody said, you better watch out for, Mormons when they read this, you might want to watch your back. But I did have colleagues saying to me, you better be careful who gets this book. It was actually translated into Farsi, and someone said you might want to be careful. So what I'm saying is there's an atmosphere, I think, in academia and in the media where people such as myself are more likely to think twice about expressing criticisms of Islam out of fear.
So speak to that, Professor Zuckerman. Do you think it's a matter of fear about the potential repercussions? For example, you saw the whole situation, the controversy with the Charlie Hebdo cartoon depictions of the Prophet Muhammad. Do you think in the mainstream media and those on the left that the reason why they don't have a critical view of Islam is because of fear?
I think that's part of it. So I'll even give you more examples. I mean, right now, atheist bloggers in Bangladesh are being executed one after another, and the government's not doing anything about it. There's a list of secularists who are being executed right now as we speak.
And they're being executed because these atheist bloggers are being critical of Islam, right?
That's correct. And I'll even go further. I was living in Denmark during the Muslim cartoon controversy when the Danish paper Jyllandsposten published some cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. The United States would not publish those cartoons, refused to even show the cartoons. And I definitely think that was out of a feeling of fear.
Is it your opinion that Islam is more of a threat to a secular society than Christianity?
No doubt about it. We have the evidence. Look, there are 13 countries in the world today that have a death penalty for atheists. They are all Islamic societies. There are countries which make it a crime to write about secularism, advocate for secularism. So, as I said recently at a talk in Georgetown, Christian society has been a great friend to secular humanism. We feel more free within Christian contexts to express our views, be they supportive of secularism or critical of religion or critical of Christianity. So there's no question in my mind that the worst place on planet Earth today for atheists and humanists is a Muslim majority society.
Why doesn't the media then call out Islamic leaders for these violations that you speak of?
I really don't know. I wish there was greater criticism of the repression. So I definitely agree that we need to be criticizing those societies anywhere that repress religious freedom, and that includes the freedom to be non-religious as well. I obviously don't like the fact that wherever Sharia law is dominant, women's status is worse. Homosexual lives are made miserable. I think so. I think in Islam there's a lot of love and a lot of mercy and a lot of goodness and a lot of justice. But there's a lot of passages, for example, that are, talk about that are hostile to infidels, hostile to Jews, hostile to women, hostile to non-Muslims, and you find that mostly in the Hadith with the stories and doings of Muhammad. So I don't want to. I'm not an expert on Islam, and I'm more an expert on secularism. But from my limited knowledge of Islam, what I've read of Islam, and of the people that I've interviewed, particularly ex-Muslims. So I'm very familiar with a lot of apostates from Islam, and their stories I'm very familiar with, and they talk about the hostility that they face in their communities and from their families and from religious leaders when they dare to reject Islam. So those are some of my, off the top of my head, those are some of the things I would throw out there.
Okay. Professor Phil Zuckerman, Professor of Sociology and Secular Studies at Pitzer College. Sir, thank you so much for coming on CBN News and enlightening us with your views. I hope you will join us again next time. Thank you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.